Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6. Hello. Don't know why I did that. I just was not. Anyway, yep. Welcome to episode 6 of Crossing the Frames podcast. As always, I've got co-host Joseph.
Yo!
You hate that word. Your name isn't Joseph at all, is it? Your name is
Joey.
just Joey.
Yeah.
Like
well, no, I was born
kangaroo.
Joseph. But
Were
you call
you?
me Joey. Were I? If
Sometimes
people
I
call
call
me
you
Joe,
Joe.
though, they... No,
Yeah,
you don't. No,
you
people
hate
don't call
that.
me Joe. Yeah, people don't do that. More than once.
And how are you doing today, Joe? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Cool, thanks. Great, cool. And today we have we have another guest. Last week, as if we do these weekly. The other week, we had Jack on the show, but this week we have David Robson, our good friend from university. Give it up for the Robbo. David.
Can I get a oh yeah?
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah!
It fucking had to be done, didn't it? It had to be done.
Absolutely had to be done. What did you think you were coming on the show for? You know?
Well, basically, that's the only thing.
For in-depth political debate and cherry popcorn. That's a new thing.
I thought you were
made
just.
up.
I thought
So,
you were just gonna say cherry pop, and then like.
cherry popcorn.
I like
Just
cherry
love
pop.
it.
Remember the Panda
What
Pops?
on earth is cherry popcorn?
Panda Pops were ace.
Panda Pops were great.
What are you talking
Have you ever
about?
popped a panda?
Panda Pop, man. The little tiny little bottles of pop. There was Panda on it. Panda Pop.
Oh, sorry. I'm
Yeah.
being
man.
so dumb. Like primary school disco.
Each
Yeah.
one was
Yeah.
made with a real panda.
It was.
No wonder
Panda
they're going
tears.
extinct.
Yeah,
And
we
the
made
fact-
them extinct
and the
as children in primary
semen.
school.
And the fuckers won't breed, but they'll give us Panda Pop. Is that right?
But yeah, no, I'm happy to be here.
You're doing
I'm happy
it to
give this a go.
yourself,
I thought it'd be
pandas.
fun. I'm expecting lots of sensible, obviously.
No.
but yeah.
You are sorely mistaken. Joey,
Exactly.
what have you been
Yeah.
watching recently?
Beautiful.
Have you been watching anything good?
It's amazing.
Don't say porn.
I can't hear you, Joey. What are you saying?
I didn't say anything, mate.
Yeah, okay. So, what about my question that I asked
Who
you?
said anything about saying anything?
Wait, who are you asking? Are you asking David or are you asking me?
I was asking you, but I will ask both of you since you're clearly on top form this evening.
We will never know.
Okay, so I'm just going to go. I've been watching Lost for the 9th time. This is my 9th run through of Lost. Yeah, don't even.
That's like
What?
people with watching Friends, like
But
a
it's-
million times.
I'm not gonna lie, that's 9 times more than I've watched it. So
Oh, it's so good. I'm on the Constant at the moment, which is like the best episode in the whole series.
I've
It's
also
fucking amazing.
never watched Lost, Joey.
It is mint. People say it gets shit, but I'm a diehard fan, so I don't think it does. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. It does.
So, have you watched anything from this decade?
make it
I watched The Grudge last night. Yeah, I watched The Grudge last night, the American one. It's so shit. I thought it was like scary because I watched it as a kid, and then
No.
I was like watching it back, and I was like, "Oh, where's the scary bit coming?" And then nothing happened, and I was like, "Oh, this is shit." So yeah, it was
Is
a piece of shit.
Nicole Kidman? That's in
Sarah
that one?
Michelle Gellar, the
What?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer one, Daphne from Scooby Doo, which
Is
is
it?
an amazing film. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh, I have seen that. You're right. It is shit.
Yeah, it is. The Japanese one's good.
You're right. It sucks.
Yeah.
It's absolute crap.
Yeah, it is. It is so bad.
Not even gonna lie.
Yeah,
The
it's so bad.
Japanese one is horrifying.
Ju-on is
If you've never
great.
watched
Yeah,
that.
I love that
Yeah.
one. Both are really
Yeah.
good. But the American one's just shit.
Yeah. David, what have you been watching?
Well, I watched. Oh, I've completely forgotten what it was called. That film that I watched this morning. I told you both about it. It's got Spiderman in.
Do you mean Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield or Tom? Oh, the devil.
All the devil all the time or
Yeah,
something like
the
that.
devil all the time.
Devil's-
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's the one. That
Oh,
was the one. That was a ride.
Has that got
was an
shit Holland
absolute
in
ride.
it?
Yeah, Captain Holland.
I
Captain.
really don't like him as an actor. I think he's unbelievable as a
Captain
human
Queens.
being. I'm going to get a lot
I
of
think
hate for
he's
that.
unbelievable as a human being.
I just
What?
think he's such a shit actor. I find him so irritating. I actually
But he's
hate
an
him.
absolute top bloke.
I kind of get what you mean. I can't disagree with you. Because
He's just
I
so...
don't think
There's something about him that I don't trust, but also he's so
you don't
irritating.
trust.
Yeah, he just looks... He's just irritating. Do you know what I mean? When someone just
No.
irks you.
You know, what, I think he's a little wooden.
He's just shit.
I think he's a great physical actor. Like, he can clearly like dance. Like, have you seen him? Because he was he got.
I saw the Saturday Night
big
Live
for
thing
Billy
where he
Elliot.
dresses up as a person thing. Lady Gaga.
Rihanna. Good lord.
Rihanna.
Oh shit. Okay, I'm
Shall we
clearly
get-
not a big fan, but he dressed up as somebody. But he was really good at it. Like, yeah, he's class at that kind of stuff.
Well,
Just like
He did Billy Elliot at the stage show.
did he? Oh, that's cool. Just don't
Mhm.
then do another Spider-Man because I don't want to watch them ever again because they're just garbage. He's so shit.
Well, actually, speaking of that, because they've started filming 3.
Well, I heard that we might be getting a crossover with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Well, yeah. So
Andrew
there
Garfield's
was
also
leaked
shit.
rumors that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire were
Tobey
both
Maguire,
on
man.
set.
Oh gosh.
Um,
oh yeah.
And when Marvel were asked about it, I don't know if it was Marvel directly or a spokesperson or something. They didn't go, no, of course we don't. We've just got Tom Holland. They can't. They said, oh, we can't confirm anything at this point.
Oh
which is pretty-
shit.
Yeah.
That's one of those movie yeses right there.
Yeah, it is,
I've
isn't
never
it?
heard one.
Movie, yes.
And I was listening to this thing, and they were talking about it. And one of the rumors is that Tobey Maguire, instead of asking for more money, asked for more screen time, not in the spider suit. So he's really up to his old tricks, Tobey Maguire.
His old tricks? What do you mean by that?
He's apparently he's a right pain in the arse to work with.
Really?
That
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that doesn't surprise me. If you think that Tom Holland seems like a bit wooden and a bit nice out in the normal world, I get the complete opposite with Mr. Maguire.
I
Sometimes
agree with you.
I think he, good on screen. I mean, Spider-Man 3, the dance with the emo hair, contentious at best.
The best bit of that movie.
The only bit of that movie.
I mean-
I've seen that movie so many times and I still couldn't tell you what happens.
It's so good.
I've fallen asleep every single time. It's so shit. But the first two are so
I don't
good.
like Tobey Maguire. I don't like him as Spider-Man. I have the unpopular opinion. I'm a really big Spider-Man fan, but his face is too blubby. It looks like he's about to burst into tears. Yeah, it looks like, as in, he looks like he's gonna cry all the fucking time, and I can't.
Well,
I want
good.
to punch his face. I
That's
can't
how I
deal
feel
with
about
it.
Tom Holland. I want him to like eat
Really?
a Sunday dinner, but like in a different place, in a different country somewhere while they're filming, so he's not in the film.
And I did not hate the Amazing Spider-Mans. I didn't.
I
hate them.
hated.
I didn't
Oh, they
love
were
them.
shit.
They weren't shit.
Oh gosh, Electro.
Well, he's confirmed to be in the new one.
Oh,
The
why?
same character.
Didn't he
I know.
But he's
I know.
dead.
I don't
Just
know what they're
kill
doing.
him off. He's shit.
It's
He's
one of
not
those big.
dead, is he?
It's one of them things where everyone's been complaining, oh, Sony are trying to get in on the Marvel Universe, and what happened afterwards, and oh, did they click him
And it-
back to life or something? It's
Oh,
Well, that's
all
the thing,
kinds
because
of-
Doctor Strange is going to be in the new Spider-Man movie.
because he's the new
That's
mentor, isn't
confirmed.
he?
So they're gonna, and obviously with WandaVision, they're introducing the whole. By the way, terrible name, but they're gonna introduce the whole multiverse thing. And obviously, one of the big comic book series for Spider-Man was the multiverse thing, with like Madam Web and all sorts. So who knows? But then the big question is, once you open that box, do you then reseal it, or then are all future Marvel movies involving a multiverse, or is that restricted to certain characters, or do they close it off at the end of the? It's a weird one.
I honestly think the next Spider-Man film will be The Amazing House Spider, and it's just someone following around a garden spider inside a house. I mean, a house spider, and it's just going round, and then a cat eats it at the end, and that's the end of the film. And Tom
You ever
Holland's
seen
face
that
like
meme?
blurts up on the screen, and then people
You
throw
ever
it,
seen
fruit
the
at it.
meme where it's man spider, and it's a man who's the size of a spider who's like stuck in the bath.
Amazing. See, that's more entertaining than Far From Home.
Yeah. No, what?
I liked Far From
I
Home.
love
Don't.
Far
I'd
From
actually
Home.
rather
I love
watch
Stereo.
Thor 2. Oh, actually, no, I take that back. No, I wouldn't.
Oh, Joe, you've got such a shit opinion of Marvel movies. God, you just
Fuck off.
ugh.
Right. Thor 1, Thor 2, all of the Spider-Mans past Spider-Man 3, and then what's the other shit one? The Age of Ultron, that's a piece of shit.
Right, but
Iron Man
hold
3.
on. Of course, in a series of movies, I mean, Marvel have done 24 movies in their MCU. Of course, some of them are going to be bad.
Oh, but Thor 1
why
and
am I
2,
justifying this?
they're almost as bad as The Hobbits, so yeah, that's
Yeah, but they
that's
just didn't know
pretty
what
bad.
to do with it. This
They
is
should
my
just
thing
not
with like
made
the
it.
Spider-Verse thing. Well, there's that, but also Marvel, they didn't have the rights to many of the characters, so they had to make him work, and it does end up working when they did something
Thor
really
Ragnarok was
creative.
awesome, yeah.
Thor Ragnarok's great because they
fucking
took
class.
a chance on like an indie director to do something interesting
Yeah,
with the character.
So good.
Any other takes? Any other hot takes?
No, I want to talk about this film now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's time we got onto the task at hand.
Of
I
course. Yeah. So,
sex tape.
as everyone will see in the episode title anyway, we're doing #Alive, which is on Netflix. It's new? It's this year at least?
It is this
it
year,
is this
which
year,
I think
yeah.
is very apt.
Yeah. 2020. Sorry, when was the release date? June 24th. So it's actually been up there for quite a while.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it, but I'm not gonna lie. I hate the name and I hated the artwork, and I was not interested in it at all.
I got put off by that, and then I guess we'll find out what we all think in a bit. But yeah, same.
You see, with me, Meg, my partner, is the one to talk to about horror films. She is an absolute horror fanatic. She is just on a horror film every week, just about at the very least. And it really slipped under the radar with her. And I think it's because, particularly with things like Korean film, there's such a market for it, and it is so good. But I just think not enough people in this country have really found it yet and found how good it actually is. That's what my sort of take on it is a bit, because I'm gonna come straight here. This was the first Korean film I've actually watched, and I just need to find more. I think that's a complete and utter film market that I need to get into more and find out more about, because this film's really just turned me onto it completely. I thought it was absolutely. I really did like it a lot.
I absolutely loved this movie.
Yeah, same here.
Like, I really, really enjoyed it. Like, from the first 5 minutes, I was like, I am invested in this. I am 100% on board. I was absolutely blown away by the entire opening, even before the opening credits, because they have this whole scene just in the apartment with him. Oh god, what's his name?
Oh shit.
Jun Woo, is that right? Jun Woo?
I can't remember.
Shunwoo, yeah.
And I was engrossed. I was like, this is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
And then obviously they set it up, and then they had the credit screens. But yeah, it kind of made me I think, did you guys ever watch Parasite when it came out?
No, I need to watch it. I need to see that.
I can't remember.
Not one I've seen.
I can't remember if it's Korean or Indonesian.
I think
I'm
it's
really
Korean.
Sorry. I think it is. But that movie was also fantastic. There was this really great style of like humor that's coming out of there at the moment, as you've experienced with this movie. You know, like I don't even know how you would describe the humor, but it's
quite subtle. It's
Yeah,
not like Marvel
and
and shit. It's like good.
Yeah, but that's Disney, isn't it? Disney have no sense of humor.
It's just
They
on the
really don't.
nose.
Not
So
even
on the
slightly.
nose Disney shit humor.
Mm.
Well, I think the problem with Disney was they were so obsessed with racism and anti-Semitism so far back that they've forgotten how to be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
oh, did you see that thing? It was it was a few weeks ago now when John Boyega was speaking out against like his character arc and saying like, if you're gonna put different races in your movie and try and be forward thinking and progressive, like don't give them shit character arcs. Was
I
the
did
long
see
and short,
that.
and I was like,
Nice.
shots fired, absolutely call them out on that shit, because the
Yep.
girl who played Rose got absolutely hassled
Mm.
like off of social media. I think it's absolutely disgusting,
Mm.
and it's just because fans were just like, oh, she's shit, you know.
Yeah, that's
Well, the same
that's
thing
shit,
happened
like.
with Daisy Ridley as well, didn't it? As soon as the reboot first started up, she was all over Instagram and stuff, and she shut all that down just because of all of the hate she was getting, particularly from fanboys. Not that
Fucking
shit,
disgusting,
innit?
isn't it? Absolutely
shit.
disgusting.
Very shit.
Anyway, the movie Parasite. I went to see that in cinema because I'd heard quite a bit about it, and I wasn't too sure. Again, it was like this. It's like I wasn't too sure because just the marketing, Western marketing is maybe, I don't know, maybe a little different, right? So they try and sell it, or the distribution company over here, or the production company over here, then try and sell it in a different way. But again, with this, loved Parasite, and it had this really great like really heartfelt. Like, did you guys get that with this? It was really quite emotional in a lot of places.
Oh yeah, it was very
I think-
very intense.
Yeah, I mean, considering it's quite, a zombie horror, there was a lot of times in there where it felt like it sort of swayed into a bit of a drama at times. I feel like I honestly think they could have done more with the relationship between the two main characters, just a little bit more. I'm not talking kissing and more than that, but I feel like he gave off a bit of a vibe, which I think was, is there going to be a relationship here? Isn't there? But I think they could have possibly done more with that, but I don't know if it's just because they're trying to stick with the full storyline and stick to the plot more, which I think worked completely. But I don't know. I feel like they could have put a little bit more in there, considering it wasn't a massively long film. It was only just over an hour and a half. Maybe, I don't know.
See, I kind of disagree. I thought they did really, really well with getting in the amount they did in the time they did it, and that I see what you're saying about his relationship with the girl, but I felt like that was actually quite in line with his character, because he wasn't dumb, but he was a little bone idle.
Awkward.
Yeah, and awkward and quiet. And I think for his character arc, it made sense to kind of not explore that. It was more about him.
I agree.
Living, because
I suppose so. Yeah.
He kind of woke up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, well, he was a live streamer, wasn't he? That was what he was doing in his time before the whole zombie apocalypse came on. So I suppose him being the bit
streamer.
more social, socially awkward kind of thing was probably coming off that. But yeah.
I think for a film about things that aren't human, it was a really human film. Like, it was, and considering the main cast is essentially two characters, I think they did a really, really good job of doing that. It's also really, I don't know if they timed it, I don't know when it was made, but because of the whole coronavirus thing, it felt really, really, really close to home and really apt. The whole thing of being isolated from other people, like being locked down, and this whole thing of people being crazy outside, and you're stuck inside, and you've only got like your technology and stuff, and technology is only great for so long because it's a bit temperamental, because it's made by humans and we're flawed as shit. But like, it was just fascinating, and I think that was awesome to see how it affects people when you're alone for that long. I mean, you saw him, he went through all sorts of different emotions and things, and it got really intense at some points for him. And then obviously he meets this other person and brings them together, which is really cool, considering what all the shit's going on in the background, exactly like how it is now for a lot of people. So when they're locked down, and then all this shit's going on with the government and riots and everything going on, and people just have each other and they're connected still, even though all this other shit's going on. So it was just cool. I think it was really cool how they played that. I don't know if it was coincidental, but I think it was really, I don't know if it made the film better for me than it might have before that, but it was really cool. I really like what they did with it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. The thing you were saying there about like the thing with it kind of replicating what's going on with this coronavirus situation, I thought it really did a good job of kind of exploring the ways in which technology is amazing and is absolutely a tool, but how in other ways it can really negatively affect our psyche. So there was the bit, I loved it. So obviously he was live streaming when the infection started taking place, and he kind of had to unplug from his virtual world to kind of take action and realize what's happening in the real world. But remember the bit when he was really hungry and he had the noodles labeled the Last Supper?
Yeah.
And because obviously he was watching TV, and I don't know if you realised what the adverts was. There was two.
The noodle
it was like the first one was a news broadcast where it was obviously they were talking about the pandemic, and I loved it because I think the camera kind of panned to him and he either rolled his eyes or he sighed, and they had like an expert on. They were this expert on the news doing breathing exercises to help people cope with anxiety through these tough times.
Yes.
As if it's like corona when it's clearly this awful thing. And it's like, people are like, it's like really poking fun at that.
Yeah.
And then he changes the channel, and then it's this guy just feasting in
Yeah.
to noodles.
Really big,
And
fat,
he
obese guy.
caved.
Just, yeah.
He absolutely caved, and I thought that was a really great way to go. Look, this technology can really do bad things to us because he
Yeah.
had to rely on that food, and he just saw an advert
And
and,
that was
he
it.
snapped.
Yep.
Yeah,
And that was it. But then,
like a perfect comment on consumerism on advertising. I think that's,
Isn't it?
that really drew into that brilliantly.
I know a friend. I have a friend who lives in South Korea, and when she shares pictures on Instagram, I'm like, oh my god, that country is gorgeous.
It looks
Absolutely
beautiful,
gorgeous. Sorry, that was just one of the notes, and I wanted to kind of get that off my chest. But yeah, because they're very like they're not.
like. Go on, tell us about
I
it,
need
Dave.
it. Guys, welcome to your first AMA
Guys,
session. I need
guys,
to get
I've
this
got
off
a
my
friend.
chest. Seoul in South Korea. It's gorgeous. Oh, I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry.
It's okay, Dave.
The first step's admitting it, Dave.
I know.
We're
I
all
know,
here
I
for
know.
you.
Hi, my name is Dave, and I'm a Koreaholic.
That's not someone who loves careers. Like, I have lots of careers. Like, I'm a cleaner and I'm a driver.
Well,
but
you're
I
a musician,
love
so you could
Korea.
be anything you want. You could be in cyber.
I
You
could be.
can be in anything.
You could be in cyber.
Yeah, man.
Have you thought of that, Dave?
Yeah, you
Have
could
you
be-
thought about that?
If you watched #Alive, you would realize we're all in cyber, aren't
Oh
we?
yeah.
So
100%.
there we go.
Oh,
See what we did. Okay, cool. So we've kind of done like non-spoilery stuff. So if anyone hasn't seen it yet, I would say watch it before you listen to us talk about it too much more. Because everyone I've seen today, I have now recommended that movie. I was like, this movie is really good. Like, it's not just good as a zombie movie. Oh, no, sorry. It is good as a zombie movie. It's good as a drama. And it's good as a comedy. Altogether, it's just a great movie.
Yeah.
Just a great movie. I really enjoyed it.
no, definitely. I think it's up there with one of the best films that I've seen in the last couple of months. Definitely, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm. Joseph?
Yeah, it was surprisingly good. I mean, we touched on what we touched on before, like the advertising and the title and the trailer looked quite shit to me. And then when we put it on, I was just like, oh, hang on a second, this is actually really cool. And the weird thing was, I was watching it with someone else over what do you call it? Over like
Zoom or Skype? Or
yeah.
something?
So like when I was watching it, it was really weird because like it felt like we were doing the same kind of thing. So
Whoa, dude.
it was meta as fuck, like watching it. But I was absolutely blown away. Like the whole way it just sort of panned out. I mean, there was some parts where it was a little bit predictable, and you could just tell what was going to happen. But it didn't matter because it felt real. It felt I felt very, very, like you said, I felt very invested in the characters. And the plot wasn't massively too important for me because, I mean, it's a zombie film. You know what's going to happen, really. Like, they all have the same kind of premise and then ending. But
isn't that the beauty of zombie movies, though? It's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
like we
you-
don't need to set it out. It's like, oh, we get it. The point is
you
survive.
want the survival, and you want
Yeah.
the tension, you want the gore, and you want that whole sort of
and the
morbid-
adversity.
Yeah, and
You know,
that's
things
what was
going
great
wrong.
about it, and how they got out of these situations.
It really.
Like when you watch those situations, like for instance, when she gets, when I forgot what she's called, but when she gets tied up in that guy's house, and his dead wife's like trying to attack her, and you're like, oh my goodness, what would you do in this situation? Because it goes on for so long, and you're just like, shit, what would you actually do? Like, would you run out? Would you kill the guy? Would you try and kill the wife so you can save this new girl you've met? Like, what the hell would you do? And it's just like, I don't know, it's really cool to place yourself in those shoes when you're watching it. So that's what I really enjoyed about that. And it's like, how would you survive? Because it's so real to us as well. It applies to almost everybody at the moment, the coronavirus. So that's another thing. It's probably why it'll resonate with a lot of people. And I think that was absolutely awesome to just sort of be like, well, what the hell would I actually do in this situation? Like, this is absolutely mental. Like, look at all these zombies. It's just crazy. And like, I was envisaging myself like being so shit in this situation because I'd probably, if you haven't seen Always Sunny, there's an episode where they get mugged, or there's a hostage situation in a convenience store, and it cuts to Frank Reynolds, who's played by Danny DeVito, and it shuts to sort of his like imaginary sort of dream sequence of what he would do during that situation, and he just sits and eats hot dogs, and then everyone gets shot, and like the police come and take everyone away, and he's still there just eating hot dogs. I think that would be me during the whole situation. I think I'd just probably eat Pop-Tarts and like loads of food, and then maybe the pandemic just kind of ends, and then I'll come out of it and I'm like, oh, and then everything's back to normal again. So I missed the whole thing. That would probably be me, or I'd die within the first 8 seconds.
That's the awful thing, isn't it? It's like I would love to think that I would do really well and survive, but I don't have any survival skills.
Dave, me and you would probably just trip up on a wire and then accidentally die. I think,
yeah,
or choke on a bit of popcorn or something. Like we wouldn't get killed by the zombies or get shot or something cool. Yeah. We'd die like pathetic way.
It's kind of like if it happened, I'd be like, well, I really kind of know my odds. I'm under no illusion that my odds are low. Why don't I just end it now? Like, what's the even if I survive this horrible bit? It's not like I'm checking into a hotel and things are going to be... It's only harder after this. I thought this was hard.
Gosh.
The rest of it, no. There's no point. The world doesn't need people like me.
See, I get what you're saying.
Wow.
I get what you're saying, but have you seen Walking Dead before and how many series they've put that on for? And they keep going along. They keep surviving.
That's what I mean.
So if they can, you can
7
do
seasons.
it. Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, they could have ended it like 5 seasons ago, but they just keep going. And that's what you should do, Dave.
That's American
Keep
sitcoms
going.
for you, though. That's what that is. I mean, well, not sitcoms. That's American
yeah,
TV.
beat a dead
for you,
horse.
isn't
That's
it?
what you got to do.
Exactly.
Right. So David, usually what we do at this point, we then go through the movie scene by scene and try and like go through it by memory. Well, not by memory. I usually make notes, but this was such a good film that it was really, there's really distinct sections. And you kind of get what the theme was for that bit. So yeah, we had the whole pre-credit scene, which set up the movie. I thought beautifully. I've already said this. Really pacey. It did this thing which I love. There was like next to no dialogue. I don't know if you realized. There's like a few lines between him and his neighbor, but the things you understand about his character, the movie shows you by the way he behaves. And I love that. Like, I love that in movies where they can show you a character doing something really subtle, but it says a lot about them. So, like, for example, the girl in the apartment opposite him, I mean, you don't see her for a while, but when she had the flask of water and it said, like, day 6, day 5 and 4,
yeah,
but she gave some of the water to the plant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it just says she's a caring person. She is selfless. She would do anything to help anyone.
As if you give your water to a plant.
Yeah, but I mean, she was prepared. She knew, but then it also shows you that because she had the water out on the rail.
I'm only joking.
For when it rained. So just shut up about your opinion, Joey. In this show about opinions, of movies, if you could just keep it to yourself,
and just go along with the script I've written for you.
Yeah, to be quite Frank Reynolds about it. If you could just
nice.
Shut up. Yeah, nice.
Nice.
What happened after that?
You talking about plans?
I thought, when the neighbor comes in. I thought the zombie transformation was absolutely fantastic.
Shit, it was awesome.
It was so great. It was so well acted, so well edited.
Very creepy.
It felt, like really made it like jumpy and like janky.
To me, they drew brilliantly on, in my opinion, one of the sort of pivotal films of modern zombie films, which is 28 Days Later.
Yes.
And the fact that they, with the way the zombies moved, and particularly with that transformation scene, I mean, I'm harking back to when I did film studies at A-level here, they used digital cameras predominantly. One of the first films that they did it with when they did 28 Days Later, and they did that so that they could make the jumpy, juddery movements by taking out say it's shooting at 24 frames per second, they took out, say, 2 frames within those 24s to make it that much more juddery, and it looked like they really drew on that kind of thing, because that is so good and that works so well.
But the thing with that movie, they did it in broad daylight, whereas 28 Days, quite a lot of it is dark when you see the zombies.
Yeah, true.
But like that was fully lit hallway,
it makes
camera
it more real,
on him, nothing, and I was like, that looks great. The acting was great. And then there was this thing remember where he was like trying to get out the door? So it was like half of him was still in there. and he was trying to get himself out the apartment to keep our guy safe. But the zombie half that was taking over was fighting him, opening the door to keep him in.
Yeah.
You should watch it again. I was like, that is really good. Really interesting.
Might have to see it again, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think as well with that that whole scene, we had the TV in the background explaining exactly what happens to people when the virus takes over. The we were talking about the bleeding from the eyes and talking about the cannibalism and all of that, bringing all those points in, and him sort of hearing it there coming out of the TV and him seeing it right in front of him as well. It's that kind of like brilliantly well narrated thing, that kind of like contextual way of doing it.
I was going to ask you, Dave, because you put in our group chat that you changed it. You had it on English dubs, didn't you?
I did, yes.
See, I was all the way original language Korean with English subtitles. Because I was going to say, did you pick up the stuff that they said on the TV? Because obviously when you've got subtitles, it will put what they're saying on the TV up on the screen.
Yes, yeah.
So
yeah, no, I did get that. Yeah.
Right, okay.
I actually watched it dubbed with subtitles. One, because I was so lazy I couldn't be asked to change it. But two, I've got shit attention span, so when I watch films.
Yeah, but Joey, did you have to watch it dubbed with Korean subtitles though? Does that not just defeat it entirely?
For some weird reason, for the first 10 minutes, I had Korean subtitles on, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to put English on. So after about 10 minutes, I put the English ones on and kept the English
so you
dub.
did that, but you couldn't then be bothered to just change
I'd
the
got too
language
used to the
Korean.
guy's accent, so I had to just listen to the American actor over the top because it was too weird.
With me, I had to change it. It was too hammy.
It wasn't good.
It was just
it
too
wasn't
hammy.
great.
I thought.
I mean, if I could watch it again, I would definitely watch it without the dub. But
I would
the film
definitely
was so
recommend
good it
with
didn't
the sub.
affect it. It's like when you watch anime. Most of the time, I'll watch it without dub.
Yeah, dude. I tell you, I was actually going to bring that up, Joey, because I've watched Attack on Titan all 3 seasons twice in the lockdown. The first time I did it with subs, and then the second time I did it dubbed.
I actually really like that dub.
It really, the dub. Yeah, but it really changes your opinion on certain characters.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I wonder if that happens in this as well.
I mean, it might be interesting to watch it again and see what you think, because it'll obviously be the voice of the guy and the girl. So it'll be like, I think it'll be a bit more real, a bit more intense. It's just like...
That was exactly the point that that was the point where I thought I have to change this, because it was the scene where he was, where he went down, he fell to his knees and was screaming and shouting, and it was the dubbed guy doing the screaming and shouting, and it was just, to me, I'm like, one, this is kind of too hammy, too weird, and two, I thought to myself, I need to hear the actor's expression of this, because it's just not working, because I don't know if... I've never... Surprise, surprise, I've never dubbed something from another language before, but, trying to figure out exactly how do you get into the mindset of listening to someone else's scream and someone else's cries out and think, okay, I'm going to do that now.
I honestly think dubs are the worst thing. So I've lived abroad for a while. I don't know if everyone knows this about me. I only go on about it all the time, right? But we would... Okay, so I lived in Sweden for a bit, but I have cousins who are German, right? In Sweden, when they have a movie on TV that's originally in English, they do subtitles.
Okay.
Unless it's an animated movie for kids, obviously they then do it in Swedish, right? But in Germany, they always dub. And I remember seeing that, because I remember going over when I was a kid, and I was hanging out with my cousins. Obviously, because they're German, right? But that's not why I was hanging out with them. I didn't go over because they're German. That's where they live, but they are German. I'm gonna back out.
No,
I
keep
don't know
telling
what
me
I'm
more
saying.
about that. Keep telling me more.
But they're German. But they're my cousins, so I went to see them because my cousins, not because they're German. But they are German. So I went over because they're in Germany.
Wait a minute.
Technically not German.
So your cousin's German? So they're not even German?
No, they're half Austrian, half Scottish.
What the shit are you talking about then? You've been going about these German cousins. You went over there.
But I didn't marry an Austrian guy, okay? Shut the fuck up. So they live in Germany, right? And I can't even remember what movie it was, but it was dubbed.
In what language though? Was it German or was it Austrian or?
What do you fucking think it was dubbed in, Joey? Where was I?
Scottish.
Dubbed in Scottish.
So I was listening to this thing dubbed in Korean, And I was like, this is wild. I'm in Germany with my German cousins who aren't German. I hope they listen to this. They're going to message me. All my cousins are just going to be like, why the fuck do you open your mouth? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why. And I remember being like, I was 7 or 8 at the time. And obviously, like, I don't know about you, but when I would go to another country, I'd be like, this is mind-blowing that they don't live in English. Like, that blew my mind.
I get what you mean.
But anyway,
yeah.
and I was watching it, I was like, this looks dumb as fuck. It does not sync up. It looks awful. It sounded horrific. Like, it sounded so studio clarity. Like, you could really hear, oh, God, it was awful. It just didn't work at all.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, God, no.
Right.
So I don't know how you did that in reverse. That's me watching an English movie dubbed in a language I don't understand.
Man, I just want to...
It just sounded awful.
I want to quickly interject because I've got... Oh, gosh, this will change your mind. So, I've been...
Have you got some questions about Germany?
No. So, I've been getting into a lot of, like...
What about Scottish Austrians?
Well,
What about Scottish Austrians?
Scostrians.
Scostrians. Oh, I hate that. Go
Ostrich. Oh, I hate that. Please stop that.
on. The ostriches. That's what they
Ostriches,
are.
yes. So, I've been getting into, like...
ostriches can't type.
What?
They can't type. What?
Yeah, it's true.
Of course. What do you mean? I
Like
mean,
on a
is that not
keyboard?
obvious?
Yeah, they can't type.
Why?
Do you mean
Against
the
the
animal?
Wait,
Yeah, the animal. It's against their religion.
What
You
is
thought-
happening?
wait, what?
I thought
Have we
I
all-
thought you were trying to
have we
tell
all
us
taken
like
acid?
an interesting fact, and clearly you were going for a joke,
No.
and me and Joey were just like,
I
"What?
thought you...
Is this true?"
We just ruined
I mean,
that.
of course they can't.
It's the fact that you're both hanging on to it so hard. Just
We were
Like an ostrich's
"Please,
claw. I was just keeping hold of it.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
So-
Why can't an ostrich type?
So, right, fuck's sake. Right, so I've been getting into these Italian horror films, right, from like the 80s and 70s.
What?
Yeah, they're amazing. And
Oh, it's not Romero, is it?
no. And
Oh, he's not Italian.
no, he's American or Austrian. But there's a
Sorry, do you mind if I keep interrupting?
yeah, sounds great. Yeah, class. What sound does an emu
Go on.
make?
Fucking idiot!
So these films, right?
He's a bastard.
I'm gonna fucking
love
make
this show.
ostriches
I
extinct.
love this show. Don't let Joey make his point. I don't care what it is
It's such a
anymore.
shit
It's
point.
interrupting.
Right. So these Italian horror films, right? And they're fantastic. But what the director's done with
Don't you
them,
mean Fantastico?
I'm going to just ignore you.
Go on.
So this director hired like loads of Italian actors and models. But he picked ones that spoke English. So when he recorded them, he got them to record all the audio in English. And then when he went into post-production of the film, he overdubbed everyone, but with English actors, even though the Italians spoke English perfectly fine. But it went so far as like there was a dog in one of the horror films, and when the dog barked, like the bark happened later on because he overdubbed the bark of the dog with an English dog. And
Oh, fuck off.
and when
That's
and I was like,
not
what is
true.
going on? But like
That's not true.
when you no seriously, it's a film called The Beyond. It is fantastic. It's so weird. It makes no sense. The soundtrack is
Joe, it's
fantastic.
the next episode. It's the next episode. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, we're watching that. It is unbelievably good. There's a scene where the guy's eyes gets eaten out by spiders. It is fantastic. Like, it is such a weird film. And the music, oh my goodness, it's fantastic. But yeah, there's like a big sort of thing of those films where all of them are overdubbed, and it's just fantastic when you watch it. And then I think that's why I can watch dub now, because I'm just so used to hearing other people's voices over other people's heads and faces. So it'll change your mind
I
a
don't
bit.
know if you've ever realized, but like in the UK, like loads of like it always seems to be adverts for toothpaste
Oh yeah.
never sync up. And
They're always because they're always from like P&G have done it or something, but it's like P&G in Italy or in like Belgium.
I think there's also
So
a
they're, like,
reason
speaking-
where if you I think it's to do with the marketing. So if someone has a lisp or someone is overdubbed on a dentist advert, you're gonna look at their mouth. So it makes you look at the teeth a bit more. So when you see the white teeth, you're like, oh shit, that toothpaste actually works.
that's actually true. Do you actually? Is that actually true?
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
That makes lots of sense, doesn't it?
I mean, it would make a lot
Makes
of
loads
sense.
of
So maybe that's what they do.
God, maybe it isn't, because I always just assumed it would be like, oh, they filmed it in another country, like Colgate,
No,
are like one of the biggest companies, right? And then they import it, but they have to overdub it just because. Why would you reshoot it? Because it's too expensive. But actually, what you said also makes sense.
Yeah, I think that might have a bit of a
double-edged
grain
sword.
of truth. So
we've really talked about #alive a lot. There was something else I was going to say about zombies.
Yeah.
Thank God we're not talking about Europe anymore. We're hard Brexiteers in this podcast.
I am definitely not.
Absolutely.
Anyway, yeah.
I'm a roommate.
Yeah. Whoa,
I'm a Ramona.
those Europeans, how dare they come over here and make our society
How
better?
do the most richest countries come together and then like have plans and actually make something really successful and codependent? It's just great. We just want to get rid of that now. Fuck that. We're on right out. Yeah, I'm not getting into it. Nope.
I personally cannot wait until we get our fishing waters.
Yeah. Norway, looking at you.
Stupid
I'm saying
pricks.
Norway. Norway isn't even part of the EU. Why am I pointing the finger at Norway?
Gosh.
This is a whole new section of xenophobia that you just wanted to bring in, Dave. That's all.
It's a whole new section where it's going, what can I blame Norway for?
For being a really good country.
Ostriches can't type.
Yep.
Fuck you and your really healthy way of
I know, in a
life
really
and your
like
high standards
nice
of living.
country.
Fuck you.
Gosh. We want to be a horrible capitalist country and just be really unhappy and
they're a
work like
capitalist
7
country.
days a week. No, but we're like
They're
ultra
cold,
capitalist.
Everywhere's ultra capitalist.
Oh, sorry, shit.
Tory.
Cold though. Isn't
Tory.
It?
That's the
Oh,
word.
I
you're looking
hate
for.
it.
Tory.
Anyway, this is not the
To
time
be
place.
fair, the other thing, there's twice as many people in the UK as there is in Scandinavia.
Oh yeah,
altogether.
it's like 70. Was it 75 million or 80 million or something in the UK? It's monstrosity.
68, isn't it?
Shit, that's a lot.
I think we're about 68. million or something like that, yeah.
Sween's 10 or 5.
Yeah.
That's a vastly different number.
New Zealand's bigger than us, but they've only got like 5 million or something in population.
I mean, there's more people in London than there is in Denmark, Finland, and Norway.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So-
It's absolutely insane.
I said that, and I don't even know if that's true. That's what
the
we're
worst
doing
part
in
is
this
that I
day and
agree
age.
with that. I'm a sheep.
Yeah, just agree with it.
Shit.
Just do
Are
it.
we just as
Sound like Charlie
weird as
Day.
shit, aren't we?
Well, according
Right.
to Google, there's around 26 million people in all of Scandinavia. So you were actually right.
Wow.
Well, yeah. I was right about it, but the London thing, I don't know if I was right about. There's 16,
Oh, I don't know.
16 million people in London?
Something like that.
Anyway,
Yeah.
right. Zombies, right. Fuck me.
London, yeah.
I listened to a really great podcast with Edgar Wright, who directed Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead and that, right? And obviously, when they did Shaun of the Dead, they weren't as well known as they are now. But they said they actually had to audition extras for being zombies.
To be zombies.
But they said they had this guy. This is a great story, and I love that I get show. They had this guy on, and he was kind of like the zombie guy. He'd been in like loads of zombie movies, like he'd done 28 Days, and apparently he came onto set, but he was so over the top and thought he was like an A-list actor.
Amazing.
Like the way he was talking to people and like talking to the director. Actually, Edgar, because I was listening to a podcast with this, Edgar Wright was saying he didn't realize that he was the director. So this extra came up to him and started lighting up a cigarette, and then just turned to him and said, "Oh, straight to DVD for this one, am I right?"
No.
Wow.
I know.
Savage.
Wow.
And he was like, I should have said something. He should have said right off the set, but he was like, well, he's a big shot zombie extra, whatever that means. But then in all the shots, apparently you can see him. He's one of the extras. Apparently it's so over the top, because especially in Shaun of the Dead, they've got quite subdued zombies. But it said like this guy's got his arms flailing around. He's like screaming, and he's like, we had to so delicately choose shots where he wasn't right at the front
Amazing.
all of the fucking time,
Amazing.
because he would always try to be at the front. My point of that being, there was none of that in this.
Yeah.
I thought all the extras were fantastic.
Even that badass one that climbs the string. That was amazing. That was so good.
I wonder how much of their like effects are like practical and prosthetics, and how much is CGI.
You know what? I love that film because most of it I couldn't tell And that's what good CGI is, where you can't tell and it looks.
I mean, all of the zombies, it had to have been prosthetics, surely, just because it was so good. The facial acting actually from them was actually really good as well.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Just all of the expressions. The fact that he just, particularly the fireman zombie that you're talking about, Joey, when he just turns to there's a point where he turns to the camera and just does that proper big scream, and his gob is just so feckin' wide. And I'm like, oh my days, this is genuinely terrifying.
The zombie with no eyes as well. Do you remember when he's trying to get back in his apartment?
Yeah.
Oh, so good, so tense. I was like, I love that design.
You know that bit with the policewoman last, where she gets dragged along the floor. What's dragging her along the floor? Because it's inhumanely fast. What drags her?
I mean,
is it the zombies? Because it just looks a bit
a zombie.
It must be.
It just looks super fast. Because look, it was Raj.
There was a lot of them.
It was Raj that bit.
There was. I
kept thinking, she's going to be fine, and then I was like, oh, okay.
I had high hopes for
Same
that
here.
girl. I really did.
Same
I
here.
wanted her to survive.
I invested
so
a lot of money and time into her, and she just died.
I love that in that movie. They were like, "Oh, cop, great! She's gonna be really happy," and they fucking kill her. It's so good. It's so good.
But a Twitch streamer
really,
saves the day. That's just amazing.
I love the bit with
it's the most millennial thing ever.
Oh, I know. But it was good. I mean, that means the name does make sense. I still don't like the name, but it makes sense, especially at
the end. It was
when
just
you
like,
see all the
whoa, hang on a second, lads. What's going on here? Yeah, it was really cool.
And it was actually really funny in parts as well.
Yeah, it was.
There were some really good bits. The bit that really got to me emotionally as well. Do you remember when he had the picture of his family? And he wrote the note, "I must survive" on it. I was like,
I will survive.
The bit where he goes to put the noose around his neck, and then that laser sort of shining on him,
great.
and she just doesn't react to it at all, and calls him an idiot. It's just fantastic. That bit's brilliant.
Another thing that annoyed me actually was one bit I was kind of like, oh, this character. I mean, it completely fits with the character and who he is, but it did drive me up the wall. When he went into his neighbor's apartment and he had loads of really important equipment, and he only takes the Nutella and the wired headphones.
Of course.
And it's just a really great. It's like, God, he is incapable of looking after himself.
Yeah.
He is absolutely. Ugh.
Well, exactly. Even if you were slightly more capable and you found yourself in that situation, given that you think it is the end of the world, you'd fill your boots, wouldn't you, with all of the stuff they had in there? You really would.
But imagine getting a winning lottery ticket of 10 million or a jar of Nutella. Which one are you going to pick? Obviously the Nutella. Yeah. So it's just how it works. It's a bit nutty
Yeah. I've really loved the girl's rigged apartment. With the chair.
Oh yeah.
Where she had it wide up.
That was badass.
That was.
She's
so
badass.
Awesome.
She was amazing.
She is badass.
Her character was fucking awesome. Oh.
Yeah, she was proper.
Actually, I'll save that for the end.
But that's why I thought it was so good when they went up to the apartment, with that guy. They decide to take her out of it. They put her in danger, so he has to save the day. I thought that was a really interesting... Because if they'd done it the other way around, it'd be like, oh, it'll be fine, because she's very adept at what she's doing, whereas our main character is inept at what he's doing.
Yes.
Also, that was really fucked up. Really dark scene, but really good. And that was... Sorry, this was the other thing I was going to say ages ago about Parasite as well, where they really do dark so fantastically well. In a really... It's always in a really confined space and really... Oh, just eerie. I would highly recommend Parasite as well, if you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it, but I do want to see it because... It opened at Cannes, didn't it? And it won the big Cannes award, the Ballon something, the world. I've forgotten what it's called. Not the Ballon d'Or because that's football. The Ballon Film or whatever they call it.
Love that pronunciation. I have no idea if it was right, and I don't know what you're talking about, and that's dreadful. I host a podcast about movies. I'm like, I should know that, and I don't have a clue. Not a clue. But yeah, no, it did really well. I hope we get a lot more movies like this. I really love the style. I've got really nothing else to say about this movie, to be honest, other than those
I
things.
do. The end bit was a bit weird. So we're skipping quite ahead a bit.
I do. You shut up.
I need to say it because I'm going to forget it, and I need to get it off my chest like Dave with his talk before about the career.
multiple careers.
Yeah, multiple career choices.
Yes.
But like when she's like, "Oh, shoot us, please, go on, just shoot us. Oh, please shoot us."
Did she do it in a northeastern
Yeah.
accent?
She was just like, "Oh yeah, man, just shoot us, mate. Go on, mate, just shoot us right between the eyes." Like, why did she want? Did she get bitten, or did she just want to die? Because she was just sick of his shit. Was that what was going on?
Who wanted to get shot?
The woman, the what was she called? The main character. I forgot her name.
Little Miss
Yes,
Badass.
badass woman. Why did she want to get shot at the end? Because she was just like, just please shoot us. Was she just literally sick of him talking, or did she get bitten?
No, she'd given up.
She'd given up.
She had given up. Yeah, so like she had saved him from ending his life. He then repaid the favor
by nearly
'cause
shooting her.
she was like, "Oh, yeah," because obviously they didn't realize, because at that point the guy in the apartment had said, "Oh, there's a rescue team coming," but then they went through the whole thing, and they were like, "Oh, well, there's not a rescue team. He lied to keep us here."
Bullshitting to keep them there.
And it was him, the main character, that said, "No, we need to keep going." And then when he had convinced her to live, that's when they heard the helicopter.
So she didn't get. I was just wondering if she got bitten because I got distracted for like 2 minutes at that point.
I did
No,
think
no,
that though, Joey. No, I wondered because me and Meg were watching it and we thought, oh, she's been bit. That's why she wants to be shot. You know, initially I thought that. I don't know if it was just something that we just completely missed or what, but I did initially think that, and then eventually I just thought, oh well, she must just be over it, basically, kind of thing.
Yeah, it was. Well, that was it. He repaid the favor. That was his character arc. It was like he was saving her now. She had done so much up to that point, and then when it mattered,
So the moral of this film is having to
she
tell her
did.
and just nearly shoot someone on a roof and then get in a helicopter.
Yep.
Cool.
Love that ending as
Yeah,
well.
man.
Really like the
Yeah, it's
ending
cool.
when obviously you see like the skyline.
Definitely.
I thought they were gonna do a different
Imagine if
ending.
they
Have you
crashed.
guys ever seen a movie called The Mist? Do
Yeah,
No.
you know what I'm gonna say, Joey?
go for it.
Oh god, this at the ending of this movie to this day fucks me up. I hate it. I hate. It's really powerful and good, but it makes me so mad. Joey, you know what I'm gonna say, don't you?
Actually, wait a minute. No, I'm thinking of The Happening.
You are. No, The Mist.
Yeah, it's a
So
Stephen
it
King
was-
book, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shit, you have to remind me, mate.
Um,
It was so long ago. I've forgotten.
Right, basically, long and short of it is, believe it or not, there's a mist and there's loads of monsters in it. And there's a family. No, it's not a family. It's him and his son and his daughter, isn't it?
I don't know.
And then a few other people. And then they're driving. They manage to escape where they're trapped. And then they're driving along a road to get anywhere, but there's mist everywhere. So there's just endless mist until the car eventually runs out of petrol and comes to a stop. And then he pulls a gun out of the glove compartment. And there's 5 of them in the car, including him, and there's 4 bullets.
Oh.
So he's like, right, everyone can kill themselves, but me, I'll stick it out. So he kills his own kids to stop them being eaten by these fucking horrible monsters. And then the other 2 kill themselves, and he's just fucking breaking down in the car. And then, like, literally 30 seconds after, the mist clears,
Oh.
and the military is coming to save them. And he's just murdered his family, and just, oh my god, he's just screaming, no, just in the middle of the street. Oh, that
That's
ending
deep.
fucked me up for fucking
That's
weeks.
deep.
Isn't it? I was like, Stephen King. I'm a massive Stephen King fan. I was like, Stephen King, you've done it again. Has anyone got anything else they'd like to say?
The only other point I was going to make was it was actually about the titles at the very start. After that initial scene, the actual with the opening credits, I thought that was very, very, very David Fincher. It reminded me so much of Seven for some reason. The opening of Seven,
film.
with the sort of like industrial style sort of electro music that was going on, and just all of the slow cuts and things. And I was thinking that there was going to be a lot more of a neo-noir kind of feel to it, like a modern sort of noir film kind of feel, purely off that. I'm not disappointed that wasn't, but I just thought, just purely that, I thought that was a really good sort of hark back to something like that, to probably to an audience which just probably doesn't even know anything about it. If you're a modern film watcher, you might not necessarily have seen something like Seven before. But
Really? Do you not think that's kind of like a staple not a staple, but like that's one of it's a really highly regarded popular movie.
I don't know about staple. It's one of them films where I would be in my personal top 10 films to watch before you die. I would say I rate it that much. I think probably it was overshadowed a bit by Fight Club.
Oh, such a good
Because it was
film.
a similar sort of came out at the same sort of time, and it was a similar sort of dystopian sort of theme. I think it's kind of like a little bit, Fight Club's sort of younger cousin kind of thing in that way. But it was a film that bore one of the greatest memes ever.
What's in the box?
What is that a meme? Am
Yeah.
I losing
Gwyneth
it?
Paltrow even
That's a
did it
meme.
as a Halloween costume.
You both did that in sync, and I was like,
We planned
I
it.
have never heard this.
We
in my
planned
life.
it just like the
And
sequel
I-
to
but I
7,
knew it-
8. I'm sorry.
But don't do 9 because 7 ain't 9.
Oh. Hey, I heard that's why 6 is so afraid of 7.
Yes, 7, 8, 9. But why is 10 terrified? Because it was right in the middle of 9/11.
Oh shit! Just dropping the truth bombs there. Oh my
Drop the truth,
Oh.
like Fight Club and 7, that humans suck.
shit!
Jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
Ooh.
Yeah, but can steel beams melt jet fuel?
Oh shit!
Bet it can't. Yeah.
We're getting on to the tough questions now.
Yeah.
I'm saying we are.
Shit.
What was the third What was the name of my podcast that started this episode?
What?
Real Talk with Dave. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Are you talking to me?
Now we're on to podcast number 4, and it's Real Questions with Dave. Yeah, jet fuel can't melt steel beams, but can steel beams melt jet
fuel?
That's so
Jet
hard to say.
fuel!
Try and say what I've just said. Try and say it.
What did you say?
Can steel beams melt jet fuel?
Can steel beams
Can
meet?
steel beams-
Meat? Ha! We did it at the same time.
See?
We both said
See?
meat.
Can jet beams what? Wait, what's going on?
How many woodchucks could a woodchuck
Can steel beams melt
chuck
jet
a good
fuel?
woodchuck?
That is very difficult to say. It's like the words hemp milk.
Hemp
Yeah,
milk?
it's really hard to say.
Just makes me think of
Hemp
South
milk.
Park. Hemp milk.
Oh,
Is that in South Park?
it's not. It's
Yeah, when Randy opens a weed farm.
Oh,
Integrity.
oh,
Integrity
weed. Integrity. I remember berries. I love those. Hilarious. I don't think I have anything else to say.
I'm good.
I know it's Real Talk with
Yeah.
Dave, but I'm all talked out. No, I really enjoyed this movie. I would love to see more from this
Same.
director. I think he's clearly got a very distinct style. I'd love to see more Korean movies, to be honest. Because I was going to say Parasite, and there's a movie called The Raid, which is from Indonesia. Have you seen them? What The Raid 1 and 2?
No.
Good Lord, watch them. Amazing. I don't know if it is a style. There's a style of movie called Gung Fu, as in gun.
That sounds awesome.
Guns, believe it or not. Gun Fu. Yeah. It's kind of like, but it's an absolutely insane action movie that's like kung fu based. And then the second one's just absolutely amazing and so dark. So yeah, more movies like that, please. I'm kind of enjoying the subtitles. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I take more in.
I this is really sad, but when I watch Lost, I've watched all of it with different subtitles on the Blu-ray and Netflix and everything, because you hear and see different things that you don't pick up. And it sounds really sad, but like there's like flashbacks in Lost where it goes back to like different scenes and you can hear people talking in the background, and some of the things they say is quite important to like a bit of plot line like later in the series, and it's really cool how they've like hidden all this shit in there that you miss if you don't listen to subtitles. So I quite find that yeah.
I did watch. I watched I can't remember if it was Screen Rant or Watch Mojo or someone like that, but it was a YouTube video where it was all about sort of secrets of films and TV that came out of
That's
subtitles,
awesome.
sort of like hidden sort of Easter eggs and stuff that were just in the subtitles and
love that.
nowhere else.
I've been watching Line of
Oh,
Duty.
I need to watch it.
It's
I
so
wanna
good. It's
give that a
taken me
go. I do
ages.
wanna
To
give that a go.
I'm finishing season 3 at the moment, but I watched that with subtitles because it's actually quite not
Is it
complicated. but it's no, but
No.
you've really got to understand what's going on to understand how it's moving forward and how they're figuring out what they're figuring out. And I find that having the subtitles, because they use like dialogue really well, like they really lean into like people's regional accents and stuff. You know what I mean? So like for the first couple of episodes, the main guy, the superintendent, is Irish, and I found him really hard to understand at first. But then there's like, you know, South London sort of accents, and there's like a Manchester accent as well. And I was like, I really like that in movies because you can get away with that in the UK.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people, I mean, everyone here understands that, you know, there's so many different regional accents in such a small space.
Yeah.
And I do love the Scottish accent in it because it always makes me think of my dad whenever someone goes line of duty.
Duty.
And it's just
Duty.
like, duty. I always get my dad to say it.
Do you can your way, prick?
So yeah, I've been watching that. I'm actually on the last episode, and I'm gonna watch it right after we finish the show.
Nice.
But I would really recommend
Okay, cool.
it. I would really recommend that.
Well,
Other than that, yeah, really enjoyed the movie. Highly recommend
me
it.
too.
No, I agree with you. It's turned me on to Korean film. I want to watch more Korean films now. I really do.
I love how you paused after you said it's turning you on to Korean film. You just went, it's really turned me on
Oh yeah.
to Korean movies. Yeah.
Can
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah, spread it.
Fuck's sake.
Right, on that note.
Oh my
On
days.
that note, oh my Daves. Right. Okay. Cool.
Oh my Daves.
Thanks everyone for listening to episode. What, Joey?
I
what
think you
episode
said
is it?
6.
6. 6. Good
Yep.
lord. Who
Yeah,
knows?
We'll see what happens.
David, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, man, no problem. I'd love to do it again sometime.
It's been an absolute
Been
pleasure.
awesome, man.
Take it easy, everyone. Stay safe and tune in for the next episode.
Bye.
Bye bye.